We're going to start a little bit differently today. So you're going to want to sit down to begin with. You're going to want to sit down for this. It's going to be pretty, prepare yourself. No, it's just going to be easier sitting down. What we're going to do. So we're going to do something a little bit different to activate our energy. So we can experiment with this a little bit. Some of you have done it before, some of you maybe not, but a very, very gentle way to focus very specifically on the energy flowing through us. So quite simply, we're going to start by taking one foot and rubbing on the sole of the foot, on the instep, so the soft part of our foot. And we want to just rub in circles. And the idea is that we're going to rub until it becomes warm, until we have a nice warm patch in the sole of our foot, and the soft part there. Sometimes people do things like count a certain number of circles and that sort of thing, and that can be a good sort of guideline to sort of carry you through your practice. But the aim of anything like this is to get the result. It's not so much about the number. So the aim is to do this until it becomes warm, until you feel the energy activated. And as we've got a bunch of different people here today, of course I'm not going to be able to check with everyone whether your energy is becoming warm and activated there yet. So we're just going to go for a little while. You'll understand the process, hopefully, if you want to do it by yourself another time. And then we'll swap over and do it on our other foot. So just massaging that soft spot. Until we get some warmth. So this area that we're massaging, it's the whole of the instep, the whole of that soft area between the ball and the heel. But included within this is the point Yong Chuan, so the first point on the kidney meridian, which helps us to connect to the earth energy. So this is part of what we're doing, is activating Yong Chuan, but we're also stimulating and activating that whole soft area underneath our foot. Okay, then we put our foot down. We're going to move to our belly and massage our lower abdomen, so ideally underneath the belly button. And again, we're just going to massage circular movements until we start to get a bit of a warm patch there, a bit of activity. Now, depending what's going on with you, sometimes this can take quite some work to create this warmth and activity. For some people, it'll activate very quickly. But it is one of those things, if you do it regularly, you'll be able to activate the energy more quickly and more easily. So we'll carry on for a little bit longer. You can vary the speed, vary the pressure. Do what feels good to you. Until we start to get a bit of a warm patch in our lower abdomen, the area of our lower dantian. So from here, we'll just leave that rubbing. And now, with our mind, we're going to direct our energy as we breathe. So we'll breathe in, and with our mind, we'll draw energy up through the soles of our feet, up through our legs, and up into our dantian. Then as we breathe out, we'll send the energy back down through our legs and out through our feet. So with each breath, breathing in, drawing up through the legs, into the lower dantian in the center of your body. Breathe out from the lower dantian, back down, out through your feet. So taking deep, slow, relaxed breaths, drawing the energy in, flowing the energy back out. And to begin with, this might be something more that you imagine. You're sort of thinking about it rather than making necessarily feel much. But as you continue to practice and you continue to pay attention, hopefully this becomes a much more tangible thing. As you follow the energy, you really feel the activity move through, flow through, and then you really feel it going back down in reverse order. And you feel this quite tangible stimulation moving through your body. Deep, full, relaxed breaths. Drawing the energy up through your feet, up through your legs, into your lower dantian, and then from your lower dantian, back down, out through your legs. So we'll continue with this for just a few more breaths. Now we'll leave that for a moment and we're going to move on to our hands. And so we're going to rub the palm of our hand. So you can do it with your fingers, with your thumb, or with the other hand, but we're going to rub circles on the palm of one hand. And again, the aim is to make this active and warm. Often the hands will become active more quickly than the feet and other parts of our body because we use them so much. So they generally have quite good nerve connection and blood flow. They activate a bit more quickly. And so we'll switch to the other hand. So focusing on the center of the palm of the hand, rubbing to make this active and warm. And of course, in the center of the palms of the hands, we have another important acupuncture point called Lao Gong, which is one of the main points for emitting energy. So Yong Chuan in the feet, one of the main points for drawing energy in from the earth. Lao Gong, one of the main points for emitting energy out through our body. And that's because, again, we use our hands so much for our daily activities. Okay, so again, back to the breathing, directing the energy with our breath. We'll breathe in from our feet, up through our legs, up into our lower dantian, and then we'll breathe out, up from the lower dantian and out through the palms of our hands, of course, on both sides. So we breathe in, drawing the energy up to the lower dantian, breathe out from the lower dantian, out through the palms of the hands. You don't have to be moving around like I am. So deep, slow, relaxed breaths. Bringing the energy, directing the energy flowing through your body. And again, it's fine if to begin with, this is more something that you're just thinking about, but little by little you'll be able to connect more directly to the energy and feel quite a tangible flow, a tangible stimulation of the energy moving through you. And there's different sensations you can feel as you do this. It may be, you might feel warmth, but you can also feel some sort of tingling sensations or just movement, actually, as the energy flows through. Sometimes it can feel a little bit like a breeze moving through your body. So deep, full, relaxed breaths as you breathe in, drawing up from the earth through your feet, through your legs to your lower dantian, and as you breathe out, up through your torso, out through your arms, out through the palms of your hands. Deep, full, relaxed breath. And hopefully you start to feel your whole body becoming more full of energy. You feel the energy fall through. Just a few more breaths. And one more breath focusing on this. Okay, so we're going to stand up now and do some moving practice standing, and we'll see as we practice, as we go through our session, if you notice any difference in the quality of your energy and what you experience with the energy moving through your body as we do our practice. So we're going to continue very much just with activating this flow through us, but with some moving exercises now. So if you bring your palms together, we'll breathe in, raising our hands up. Breathe out, lowering them down. We breathe in, raising our hands up. Breathe out, lowering them down. Breathe in, raising up. Breathe out, lowering down. So as we move our hands along our center line like this, we're helping to line up our energy, make it centered and balanced through our body. And we're also, again, we're helping to extend our energy flow through and up, and then helping to descend it down, sinking deep down into the earth. So we're continuing to work on that connection, flowing energy through us, but now specifically focusing on the centering and aligning that energy. We breathe in, flowing up, and we breathe out, lowering down. So this time as we breathe in, bring your hands just up to chest height. We'll step our feet close together. We're going to do a type of swimming dragon to further activate this flow of energy, particularly through our spine. So we'll bend our knees, sinking down a little bit. Turn your shoulders and your hands across to one side. Your hips will naturally go in the other direction. And extend your hands out. And then turn over, come back to the other side. Turn over, back. So breathing deep, steady, relaxed breaths. And we feel the loosening through the side of our spine with the lateral movement. We start to get some additional energy moving up and down our spine. We'll start to descend lower. So we bend our knees, sinking deeper, sinking deeper. Just gradually coming down lower and lower. And when your knees don't want to bend anymore, just continue to descend your hand. Feel that quite close down to the ground. And then we'll bring them back up. Again, just very gradually, side to side, side to side. Creating a snaking, swimming movement up through our spine. And starting to straighten the legs up. Bring the hands a little bit higher so they start to come across in front of the throat. And then in front of the face. And then the top of the head. And gradually reaching up into the space above your head. until we reach our hands all the way up. And then we'll breathe out. Lowering our hands back to our chest, stepping our feet back out to shoulder the back. Lowering your hands down. We'll breathe in. Lifting your hands up. Breathe out. Drop them down. Breathe in. Lift your hands up. Breathe out. Drop them down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. Out. Just a couple more. Last one. And out. And we'll stand for just a few moments. Aware of our body, aware of our breath, and maybe with some awareness of your energy filling your body, flowing through your body, and possibly with some awareness of the energy expanding out into the space around you, filling your energy field. Notice if this energy feels different, either in quantity or quality, than other times that you practice. Deep, full, slow, relaxed breaths. We're going to start to move our arms. So we'll breathe in, expanding, opening out to the sides, breathe out, relaxing and sinking. So we breathe in, we open and expand gently. Breathe out, relax back in, sinking. Breathe in. As we do this, we're aware of the energy filling and expanding through the body. But not just the body, we feel the energy in the energy field fill and expand out as we breathe out. Breathe in, and then as we breathe out, we feel the energy in the body and the energy field relax back in. So breathe in, feel the body and the energy field expand. Breathe out, relaxing back in. Breathe in, fill, expand. Breathe out. So each breath creates a gentle pulsing through your whole body, your whole energy field. Breathe in. And breathe out. So we're going to move on to working with some of the qualities, the overall qualities of our energy. We'll breathe in, raising our arms up. Breathe out, relax and sink. So you can do the 5 waves, nice and gentle. Breathe in and out. With this movement, we're focusing on the earth element. You breathe in, you rise. Breathe out, we sink, become solid, stable, grounded. Breathe in, rise. Breathe out, sink, become solid, stable, and grounded. Breathe in, rise. And breathe out, sink. Next one, we'll breathe in, rising our arms and opening them out wide. Breathe out, relax, close back and sink down. So breathe in, rise and expand. Breathe out, sink back down. and close back in. Breathe in. So with this movement, we focus on the fire quality within our body, within our energy. Breathe out. Breathe in. So in particular, the expansiveness, the opening of our energy. And then breathe out, relaxing back in. Deep, full, slow, relaxed breaths, feeling the whole body, the whole energy expand. Breathe out, whole body relax back in. Breathe in. And breathe out. So next movement, we'll breathe in, raising our hands all the way up above us. And from here, we simply drift, swaying side to side, just breathing naturally, deep, slow, relaxed breaths, not particularly trying to coordinate them with the movement for this one. And as we do this, our focus is on the wood element, qualities of being long and strong but flexible, like bamboo. Deep, relaxed breaths. In particular, we'll feel loosening through the sides of our body. Each side is being gently stretched and loosened with the movement. We'll continue for a few more breaths. Breathe in, lift your hands up. Breathe out, turn your palms towards you, lowering your hands down, sinking just a little. So we breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, palms facing in, lowering down. Breathe in. So with this, we focus on the water quality. Breathe out. So it's like rain washing down, washing over us, washing through us. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. Just one more. Breathe in. Reach all the way up. Breathe out. Let it wash all the way down. Breathe in, raise your arms up. Draw them back in front of your chest, in front of your shoulders. Then breathe out, press and sink. Breathe in, we draw the hands back in front of the chest, in front of the shoulders, elbows facing down. Breathe out, press and sink. We breathe in. So for this one, we're focusing on the qualities of the metal element. Breathe out. Breathe in. The metal element has a lot to do with boundaries. Breathe out. And so as we extend out, we feel the whole surface of our body become firm. Breathe in. Breathe out. So we strengthen our boundaries. Breathe in as well. The metal element has a lot to do with processing and moving through. Breathe out. So this movement helps us to clear out what is no longer needed. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. We'll do one more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lowering your hands. Returning to the movement we started with. Breathe in. Expand the whole body, the energy field. Breathe out. We relax back in. Breathe in. Out. Gentle pulsing. Breathe in, a gentle filling and emptying of all your body, all of your energy with each breath. Deep, full, slow, relaxed breaths, letting the breath move through your whole body, your whole energy field. Just a couple more. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. And out. So again, we'll stand, we'll pause for just a few moments. Aware of our body, aware of our breath, aware of our energy. And see if you notice any change in the quality of your energy, even the quantity of your energy, both within your body and in your energy field. A couple more breaths, just standing, observing, letting the energy consolidate and settle. Okay, stepping our feet together. We're going to have quite a diverse practice today. So bringing your heels together and turning the balls of your feet, your toes to point outwards on an angle. So you don't want to go all the way to 180 degrees, but out on an angle in between. We're going to do some crane movements. So we fold our arms across in front of our body. And then we breathe in, squatting down. We come up onto the balls of our feet. So our heels come off the ground, touch the backs of our hands together. We breathe out, standing back up. We breathe in, opening all the way up. Breathe out. Breathe in. So you can probably feel, as we do this movement, it really opens all the way through the sides of our ribs. Breathe out. So it's opening up for our lungs. Breathe in. And as we come up onto the balls of our feet like this, it creates quite a specific stimulation, lengthening through our lower back. Breathe out, which of course frees the nerves to the large intestines. Breathe in. So this movement, again, focuses on the metal element. Breathe in. Opening the lungs. Breathe out. Opening the lower back and the nerves to the large intestine. Breathe in. And breathe out. So we'll move on to the next movement. We turn to the side, step 1 foot forward into a lunge. It doesn't have to be a deep lunge. Then we breathe in as we swing our arms down and back, bending our body forwards. We breathe out, coming up, reaching the arms up and back. We breathe in, swinging down and forwards. Breathe out, up and back. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. So we feel an opening right through the back of our ribs. and particularly underneath the back of our ribs. Breathe out. And then through the front of our ribs and chest. Breathe in. And out. One more, breathe in. And out. So we'll breathe in one last time, coming forward. And then as we breathe out and stand back up, we'll step our feet back together. Step into the other side. Breathe in, swing the arms down and back. Breathe out, swing up and back. Breathe in, forward. Breathe out, up and back. Breathe in, forward. Breathe out. Breathe in. So we get quite a specific stretch of the diaphragm muscle as we do this movement. So stretching the ribs, but in particular, you can feel the lower portion of the diaphragm muscle as we bend forwards like this, which of course creates the relationship between the lungs and the large intestine. Two more. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. And out. So one more time, breathing forward. And then as we breathe out, stepping up, back to the center. All right. So now we breathe in. Actually we're not going to do that one just yet. We're going to breathe in, lifting up, and we'll start low, just extending our heel forwards and down, pressing our arms out to the side. And then we bring the foot out to the side, out, around behind. And we lift the knee up and set it down. We change to the other leg. So we breathe in as we raise the leg. Breathe out, extend. You can then just breathe naturally as you need to. As we go to the side and behind, we breathe in, raise up. Breathe out, set down. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, extend. You reach round to the side, round behind. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, extend. Come out to the side, around, behind. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, lowering down. Breathe in. Now if you want to, you can challenge yourself. You can lift your foot higher, or you can just keep it relatively low, coming around. Breathe in and out. So of course, this exercise, it works on our balance, of course, but while it's doing it, it's also creating a stimulation, gentle stimulation, all around each side of the lower back. Breathe in and out. And as part of keeping us stable, there's activity holding, stabilizing through our ribs, keeping them open. So lower back and ribs working together. Breathe in and out. So one more, extending in front, reaching around to the side and back behind. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, last exercise we're going to do for the crane, we're going to cross one foot across the top of the other knee. And then we breathe in, opening our arms to the sides, and breathe out, lowering just part way. Breathe in, so it's like we're sunning our wings. Breathe out. Breathe in, we feel the opening, the expansion through our ribs. Breathe out, lengthening through our spine. Breathe in and out. Change other leg, crossing it over. Breathe in, expand. And out. Feeling the activity in the ribs. Feeling the lengthening of the spine. And ideally, we develop a sense of stillness, of lightness, of focus and clarity. Like we're up above everything and we can see clearly right to the horizon. Okay, lowering down. Lowering your arms. We'll breathe in, raising energy up our spine. Breathe out, lowering down in front. Breathe in, up the spine. Breathe out, harmonizing all of our energy. Breathe in, harmonizing yin and yang. Breathe out. Breathe in, integrating the stimulation, the lessons learned from our practice within our energy. Out. Just a couple more breaths. Breathe in. And out. Last one, breathe in. And out. Bring your hands onto your lower dantian. Again, we'll stand aware of our body, aware of our breath, aware of our energy. Moving your hands into your lower back, massaging the kidneys, the area above the kidneys and the lower back. Then we'll pat down the back of our legs, up the inside of our legs, up the front of our body, out the inside of one arm, up the back of the arm, out the inside of the other arm, back of the arm, over our face, over our head, over our neck, down the back, down the legs, all the way to the feet, up the inside of the legs, front of the body, out. Down, over the face, over your head, over your neck, down, all the way down, up. That last time round, up the other arm, over your face, over your head, over your neck, stopping at your waist. Bring your hands back in front. And just let the energy settle. Consolidating the energy in your lower dantian. Okay, all right, let's have a little bit of a chat. See what questions, comments, observations people may have. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more light in here. Should be a bit better. All right. So, I don't think I muted anyone, so I think people can still unmute themselves. How was that? Let's see if we can try to avoid having everyone talk at once. It would be good. So you can, well, we'll try to go one at a time, or if you want to put things in the comments, that's cool too. I guess one of the things maybe to talk about first is, how did you find the process of rubbing and then breathing to draw the energy through? And then also, how did that then influence your energy in the rest of the practice? Did you notice anything? How did you experience that? How did that work for you, working with your energy in that way?
I'll share something.
Sure.
Okay, so it was interesting. I mean, when I practice, I usually do the bottom of my feet anyway, but I really noticed that my left palm and my left foot got hot and relaxed and warm really quickly. And my right palm and my right foot stayed a little bit cooler and felt stiffer.
Right.
Sure. What do you think?
So left and right relates to yin and yang. And so it does indicate, it can indicate lots of things that, maybe you've got some extra stiffness on your right side, something that's blocking things. But this then does go to that idea of yin and yang. So it does indicate there's a bit of an imbalance between your yin and your yang energy. And your yang energy is not flowing as easily. And there's lots of things that can relate to that and feed into that. One of the good things is just doing simple practices like this can help to balance it out, because we're consciously flowing the energy through, and that then starts to balance it out over time. But it can also be that it could be worthwhile doing some other things to focus on your yang energy. Working with your yang energy can be interesting in a way, because the nature of yang energy is that it's more dynamic, more active. And so often what we want to do is nurture our yang energy and not overstimulate it, because if we become overactive, that actually depletes it. And so it's this fine balance of nurturing and building that yang energy. So things where particularly you work on opening up the energy through the spine can be really good for that, so that you're opening up the flow through the sympathetic nervous system, which has a more yang character than the parasympathetic, but doing it in a gentle way. So you're gently opening that up, and also gently doing other more active activities, so that they don't exhaust you, but so that they energize you. And then doing things like making sure that you stay warm, particularly making sure your feet stay warm, your lower back stays warm, things like this, so that you're nurturing the yang has warm qualities, and you make sure you nurture those and don't let that be depleted from you.
Right. It's tricky because I have to do everything carefully because of my spine.
Yeah.
And my feet go between burning, literally burning and terribly, to then I have to take my socks off and get them cold to be comfortable. It's like it's all messed up.
Yeah, it can be tricky. So there's lots of different movements that work with spines, including quite a few of the ones that we did today. So this just coming up and down, it's a good one. This is also very good. Some other ones that are really simple that work specifically with opening up the spine and the energy within it in a fairly gentle way, without necessarily activating it too much. These ones where we dive down with the back of the hands and then come up with the hands in a scooping movement. This very specifically opens out around the spine and encourages the flow through the spine. So hopefully those are a few things that are helpful. But yes, it can be tricky. Let's see. We've got some people putting things in the chat. Let's see what we've got. So saying my hand started buzzing at the end. It was fantastic. Clayton says lots of powerful energy. My experience was that the energy was more easily accessed. I also felt a stronger sense of my energy field, and the field was larger than normal. So stronger all over. So Ellen says very nice breath work, was warmed from rubbing and breath work for other exercises. Janice, my feet felt connected to the earth throughout the session. That's great. And this is one of the things that often a lot of people struggle with in day-to-day life, and just as a matter of habit. Because what happens when we're stressed and when we're tense, what tends to happen is we contract and we draw our energy inwards. And this includes from all parts of our body, but particularly out of our feet. And so as we draw the energy inwards, we just have less connection through our feet. And rubbing is a really simple way to get them to relax and to relax the energy down so the energy flows out so that we can do things like connect to the earth more easily. It's a great way to sort of get through that if that's challenging. Elizabeth says the process of rubbing was very powerful indeed and it influenced my whole practice. Clayton says, would this practice be good for someone with low energy in the lower dantian? Yes, it would. I was reminded of this just recently when I had a client who very depleted energy, and so we do often use this. Well, you can use it in all different sorts of healing practice or Qigong practice. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is one of the things, if some of you have done the Introduction to Qigong Healing course, that we do quite a bit of, because before we want to do anything working with our energy on other people, we've got to make sure that we have plenty of energy within us and that it's flowing through freely. And this is a great, quite direct way to focus on and work on flowing the energy through and topping it up. But it can also be used therapeutically, not so much just to enhance your abilities, but actually to build the energy in someone whose energy is depleted. And it's quite a gentle way to do that, to focus very specifically on building the energy up. Denise says, I had a good hour-and-a-half bike ride at a pretty good tempo earlier, so I found some of the exercises I felt a bit tired. Yep, but in the end, feel strong energy all through my legs. I think the breathing energy through my body really helped energize me again. Great. So Elizabeth says, I agree with Clayton, a stronger sense of my energy and the field being larger than usual. John, could you teach us next time the last exercise that you demonstrated to help the yang energy? Yeah, we can fit that in. Probably next time. Probably next time. We'll see in case it goes in a different direction. But it's a great general exercise, so it can pair very nicely with a lot of other things. It's a great preparation exercise by preparing the spine, and then moving the energy out into other things. Alessia says, another great practice. Thank you, John. I got really warm after the crane exercises. Normally that doesn't happen to me. Is it due to the feet rubbing in the beginning? Quite likely. Because again, if we have sort of some residual tension within us, it can stop the energy from flowing as easily. Even through whatever we're doing, we might even be working, really hard, like running or whatever it is, that our body's working really hard. But because if we have some tension that can stop the energy from flowing, it can then stop us from warming up the way we naturally should. So if we relax things and get the energy flowing first, then the energy tends to flow more freely through everything that we do. Now, we often do that in different ways within our practice sessions. This was a very direct and overt way to flow the energy through. But sometimes we do it, even when we just stand and we breathe, the intention of that when we stand in a Wuji posture and breathe, the intention of that is to release all of those tensions so that then our energy will flow more freely in whatever we do. But this is a very direct way for us to focus on that. Cool. Did anyone have any other questions or comments or anything?
I have a question, please. Can you hear me?
Who's talking?
It is I.
Let me find you. I don't have you on my screen. Yep. Is that Sheila?
No, it's
Cosmina.
Cosmina, hang on.
Yes, in the very beginning, when we are directing the energy through the arms out, does it go like in a V shape from the dantian, or does it go through the head and comes like a fountain around?
Well, so there's different ways that we can direct the energy. For some reason, I can't find your camera.
I'm here, don't worry.
Oh, there you are. There you are, Fanny. So there's different ways that we can direct the energy. We can change the way that the energy flows. But the general pattern is rises from the dantian. If we're not focusing on flowing it out through the head, there's not generally going to be a large amount of flow through the head. There might be a small amount. But unless we focus on bringing it up to the head, it's going to come up. Maybe there'll be a small amount of flow into the head and then out and down through the arms. Does that make sense?
Why would you skip the head though?
Well, but so again, you can specifically focus on that if you're wanting to specifically focus through, and to some extent it will be included, because as the energy rises, there'll be a small amount that goes in there. The reason, so again, you can specifically focus on that, and sometimes it's very useful. But sometimes we're focusing on drawing energy in, sending energy out, in which case it doesn't have to flow out through the head. Yes, some of it will be supplied to the head, but there isn't a strong current through it because the direction is then out through the laogong. So it's not that the head is completely excluded, but it's just that we're not specifically focusing on it in the way that we do in some other practices where we specifically focus on bringing the energy up and out through Baihui. You can do a similar thing, of course, but you don't always have to do that.
I have another question, if nobody else does.
Yeah, sure. I'm hunting through the cameras. Yep, go ahead. I'll find you.
So it's about your hands buzzing. Some other people mentioned that. So I will do it, and my hands, they feel like they're really big. So
Yep.
they feel so full of energy, like they're big. And a part of me wonders, okay, so am I blocking it that it's so big? So this time I imagined it just flowing, not kind of like fixating on that, but imagine just letting it go and allowing it to flow into my energy field.
Yeah.
Because you kind of want it to keep moving, right? Not to like make your hands like bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And how did that feel for you when you did that?
Yeah, I've never done it before. It felt really good. I felt it was like a good use of my energy, like filling up my energy field rather than just fixating on, oh, I can feel it in my hands or something.
Yeah.
It felt nourishing. It felt nourishing.
Good. So there's a lot of finer details in terms of the specifics of how we flow the energy and what we want to do with it, and what you're talking about gets into some of that. Because yes, sometimes when we feel a very strong energy sensation, it shows the energy is flowing, but it can also not necessarily show that we're flowing it in the best way, because part of the reason for that strong sensation is because it's encountering resistance, right? And sometimes we can choose to do that for a variety of reasons, and other times we don't want to. We want to let it move through, in which case what will generally happen is we'll still feel energy sensations, but they'll be milder because it's moving through rather than encountering resistance. So different, I guess, some context around why we may or may not want to do that. So one is sometimes if we're sending energy through and out, if we're not careful that we're actually also drawing enough energy in, it can deplete us. And so that's a reason why sometimes we don't want to do that. Equally, if we are drawing enough energy through, it's generally no problem. It can be very good to flow the energy out. One specific activity that we sometimes want to build the energy up rather than let it out is in Kung Fu application, because we don't want it just to be washing out. We want there to be a charge built that can then be released all in one lot rather than as a constant flow. So there's little details, but it's a good point to raise. Sometimes those very strong energy sensations aren't necessarily, they're generally not too bad, but they're also not necessarily a sign that, you know, of things being good. Actually, often what we want to do is allow it to flow more freely, and then those sensations kind of moderate down a little bit.
Okay.
Let's see, we had some other comments here. Okay, a couple of people needing to shoot off, which is of course totally fine to carry on with your schedule. So Elizabeth asked, do you have a tip to keep your balance for the exercise of going down, being on tiptoe for the crane? Yeah, so a few things that can be useful for this. One is to break the exercise down into parts to begin with. We did it all together today, so we could just flow through, and hopefully most people were able to follow along with that. But what you can also do is you can practice just doing the part with the arms first and get the coordination of that, and then also practice just doing the part with the legs, so that you don't have all of this extra stuff going on while you really focus on getting your balance. And then you can work on putting them together. That's one simple way that you can make that easier. You can also do things if that is still challenging, like having something to help lean on while you practice this part of the movement until it becomes easier. And then of course, once it's comfortable, you can try doing it without.
May I add something?
So, sorry, who's this?
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're a little bit quiet. But go
It's
ahead.
Cosmina again.
Cosmina.
Yeah, can you hear me? So
yes.
The same exercises are in ballet for Elizabeth. So it also helps if you're looking at something steady right in front of you. If you're
yes.
the point and fix your eyes on the point and imagine that you're connected with that point and it's holding you.
Thank you.
No, that's a good point. If you're, and particularly the converse of that, if you're looking at something that's moving around,
exactly,
makes it way harder. Because you want to find something that's nice and still. So if you're in a class, you generally don't want to be focusing on another person because they're moving. And you want to look at something that's staying in one spot. Let's see. So Shabnan asks, when we put our hands on our lower meridian, does the energy transfer to it? Generally, yes. Generally, that's the purpose of when we're putting our hands. So I think maybe you're referring to the lower dantian, but the same actually applies to meridians as well. If we're, putting our hands on our meridians, we're transferring energy into them as we do that. But this is one of the reasons why we put our hands on our lower dantian at the end. So we've stimulated, activated our energy. Often as part of that, the energy naturally comes to our hands. They naturally become activated more quickly and strongly than other parts of our body. And we don't want to waste all that energy and just let it dissipate. Sometimes we do actually. Sometimes we intentionally want to dissipate the energy. But a lot of the time we want to go, well, we've got all this active energy. Let's store it up so that we can use it later on when we need it for something. Cool. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for coming along. Hopefully a good, enjoyable session for everyone. We managed to fix one issue. I think the camera worked okay today, and then we had another one with the audio. But fingers crossed, maybe next week I'll have all of the issues. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. I didn't get the feedback because I'm hoping the microphone was working on this, but I didn't have the audio playing back to me in this. So we'll see. One way or another, look forward to seeing you on the next one. For some of you, I know some of you are probably going to be coming to the instructor, so it's a specific Q&A just for instructors, which is on tomorrow. It's a little bit of a different way of accessing that session, and I have created a step-by-step guide within the community there that you can go through with screenshots in case that's confusing to you. So you might want to have a look at that so that you know how to access it. It should, once you're into the meeting, it should run just like one of these, but you've got to go through steps to get in there. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.